Good day, everyone. Today we are presenting our position paper, The Influence and Frequency of Exposure to Deceptive Generative AI Videos on TikTok on Generation Z's Media Literacy Skills. Have you ever watched a TikTok video only to discover later that it was completely AI generated? You see, generative AI has become increasingly prevalent on social media platforms, with AI tools now capable of producing highly realistic videos, which are difficult to differentiate from human-made content. While these innovations have made content creation much faster and more accessible, it also raises concerns regarding deceptive generative AI media and misinformation. The issue is especially relevant for Generation Z, who spend significant time on social media platforms like TikTok. Supporting this, Patel et al. 2023 found that frequent consumption of short-form content raises vulnerability to deceptive generative AI media. Therefore, AI media literacy skills become increasingly important. Although previous studies have explored deceptive generative AI media and digital literacy, there is limited research on how the frequency of exposure to deceptive generative AI media may affect AI media literacy skills. Thus, our research aims to examine how the frequency of exposure to deceptive generative AI videos on TikTok influences the AI media literacy skills of Generation Z.
The frequency of exposure to deceptive generative AI videos refer to how often individuals encounter deceptive AI-generated videos on social media. AI technologies are rapidly developing and actively changing the media landscape. According to Wang et al. And To, generative AI tools have improved in producing realistic content. However, problems have surfaced with increase of deceptive content circulating on social media. Papers by Ngo et al. And Wakas et al. Suggested it fosters manipulation and misinformation. Recent studies by Duong and Vo, Grover and Gulati, and Nursky and Brewer highlighted that increased exposure to generative AI media may affect how users verify and engage with information online. As a result, Dahir et al., Mahler et al., and Wolf et al. Underscored how recurring exposure to hyperrealistic AI-generated content undermines users' information verification skills. It affects users' trust, confidence, and perceptions of authenticity online. Collectively, the reviewed literature suggests that a user's media literacy may depend on their frequency of exposure to deceptive generative AI videos.
Media literacy refers to a person's ability to analyze, evaluate, and create media. Ali et al., Li et al., and Nung et al. Demonstrated that media literacy education helps individuals assess online information. However, Madhu and Bashir, Cook et al., and Lau et al. Show that users still struggle to verify AI content as detection cues become obscure, suggesting that educational effectiveness varies from exposure frequency. Furthermore, Patel et al. Emphasized that Gen Z is especially vulnerable due to their heavy reliance on social media. As Cook et al., Joseph et al., and Wang et al. Explained, accessible AI tools make weaponized deepfakes increasingly realistic, making media literacy a vital skill for Gen Z to evaluate online authenticity. From the reviewed literature, we identified a knowledge and population gap. Research about the frequency of exposure to generative AI content and its impact on media literacy, particularly on TikTok among Gen Z, is scarce. Therefore, this study is guided by the question, how does the frequency of exposure to deceptive generative AI videos on TikTok influence the AI media literacy of Generation Z? To achieve this, stratified convenience sampling was used, involving 500 active TikTok users aged 17 to 22 from De La Salle University, Manila. Senior high participants were categorized by grade level and academic strand, while college were grouped by college.
For the procedure, ethics approval was first obtained from the LSU. Participants were recruited via a Google form distributed through Gmail, Instagram, and Messenger. Consent was obtained for all participants, with parental consent for minors. They were screened to ensure they met the inclusion criteria. Eligible respondents completed a 10 to 15 self-administered online questionnaire. Data collection was continued until the target sample size of 500 participants. To measure the variables, two instruments were used. The frequency of exposure to generative AI TikTok videos was measured using a researcher-developed questionnaire assessing participants' self-reported exposure to AI media. Responses were rated on a 5-point Likert frequency scale, ranging from never, 1 to always 5. A self-reported measure was used instead of direct observation of individual social media use, given the individualized nature of social media algorithms. AI media literacy was measured using a modified version of the Artificial Intelligence Literacy Scale developed by ACTI and GOC 2026. The adapted instrument comprises 16 items rated on a 7-point Likert scale, with response option ranging from strongly disagree 1 to strongly agree 7. The quiz required participants to classify whether TikTok videos were AI generated, thereby allowing literacy to be assessed through performance rather than self-report. Both instruments demonstrated Cronbach's alpha coefficient above 0.90. For the data analysis, linear regression was then used to examine the relationship between frequency of exposure to generative AI content and AI media literacy among Gen Z participants.
Thank you and have a nice day.